And now, the Big D and Bubba Weekly Podcast.
Big D and Bubba, they have a show 5 days a week, but they don't get to say everything that's on their mind, so they have an extra one, and that's how we get the podcast. Big D and Bubba podcast. Big D and Bubba's podcast.
I like being the whitest guy in the room with no rhythm and just like doing it all over
dude,
the place.
I thought you were swatting at a fly or something. I didn't know.
Hey, man, that's what I do. By the way, we have a new gold from today's show.
The longer you let it hang, the more of the wild taste you get out of it.
I mean, as soon as we heard it, we knew this is destined.
We even told him, we're like, sir, you're a gold.
I don't think he even knew what we're talking about. Because we talk about like everyone knows, but a lot of people don't. On the
podcast, you know, the gold is just a snippet of audio that made us smile for some reason or another. And usually it's some inside joke or whatever. But we really don't talk about it much on the air. Every once in a while, when you're listening, we'll throw one in just randomly. And it's really just for you, the podcast listener.
Yeah, you're right. They're very you hide them. No, they're not hidden. They're hidden in plain sight.
Hidden in plain sight. Exactly. It's something that it sounds like what?
Like a no. Yeah, right. Yeah. Sometimes you'll hear it like usually out of a commercial break. It'd be like Big D and Bubba, or in between songs like Big D and
I'll tell you how to find them. Really, the way I hide them is this: you hear the sound effects go, Big D.
The longer you let it hang, the more of the wild taste you get out of it.
Spin Bubba, and that's how you find them. Almost. So now you know what to listen for whenever you're doing the podcast or the regular show. I think we are getting my brother on the phone right now. So this submarine thing has captivated the world, captured everybody's attention. And my brother was a former Navy submariner, and we're trying to get him squared away. I just want to kind of get his take on everything.
Yeah.
Here he is. Okay.
Here we go.
Hey, Donovan. By the way, first of all, thank you for my birthday gift.
What'd you get?
Oh, you're so welcome.
My birthday is Sunday. I got some really nice whiskey glasses. So, because...
You going to need those?
Yeah, I do, because
You're going to need those whiskey glasses?
That's my life right now.
There's some whiskey glasses.
That's a Morgan Wallen song.
Oh, sorry about that.
What are you doing? What's going on?
He's working.
You get pulled over?
Well, I'm at work.
Are you sitting in your little cabin, your little cab, in your...
I'm sitting in the cab of my pickup truck, my service truck.
Oh.
With my radio, my little, two-way radio.
Oh.
He's got the life, man.
You don't call it a walkie-talkie? Do you grow out of that or something? You're too important.
Really a walkie-talkie.
Nobody calls those walkie-talkies like professional radios.
Why not, man? Yeah, I would. Least common denominator. We all grew up with them, so call what people called them. They didn't call them walkie-talkies in the submarine in the Navy?
No, we didn't have them then.
How did you guys talk to each other?
We used a sound-powered phone.
A sound-powered phone?
I thought you guys had to whisper. Like, I would think conversations could be picked up underwater. I mean, I don't want to say anything that we can't say, but
dude, I saw Red October. Come on.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, they're pretty sound-powered phones. The receiver and the transmitter are basically the same type of component. So when you talk into the transmitter, it vibrates, and then it causes a magnet in a coil to make an electrical pulse, and that electrical pulse gets sent to the receiver, and the receiver is just the opposite. So it applies the signal to the coil, and it moves the magnet, and it moves the diaphragm, and you hear what the other guy said.
So does it sound different? Like, do your voices sound a little like this or anything like weird?
No, it sounds just like a telephone.
You're using like it's like
what? I'm sorry.
I was going to say it's like an industrial version of the string and can.
Yeah, I mean it's basically what Alexander Graham Bell first designed.
So you use this to talk to people on shore or just on the submarine?
No, just within the boat, because everything's got to be hardwired. It's all hardwired in. So.
Oh, we know, of course, yes.
It doesn't take any electricity. I mean, even when the power's out, you can still talk to each other.
Oh, that's cool. That's old tech, but it's reliable. It works.
Very reliable.
What if you need to talk to, the Pentagon?
On the submarine, we typically didn't transmit anything. So we wouldn't transmit a radio signal unless it was something that we, dire emergency that we had to, because as soon as you transmit, you're found. So basically, we just listened. If they needed us to talk to them, they would send us a signal. Ever heard of ELF, ELF, extremely low frequency?
Yeah.
So they would send us a pulse over ELF, and that pulse would have a rider on it that told us, "Hey, come, surface."
It is,
or come up, come up and put your antenna up.
And yeah,
We'd
you're
come up,
not
put our
saying anything
antenna
we're not supposed to already
yeah.
know,
Oh my
right?
God, Bubba has such a problem with
I
that.
do have a problem with it because I
like-
don't ever want to get
then-
anybody in trouble.
Then why would he talk about it?
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, ELF's like not anything that's.
And also,
classified.
please, gentlemen,
I mean, I'm not
It's
giving
called
out,
ELF.
ELF
frequencies and
is-
stuff like that. ELF, it's ELF.
yeah, it's going to rock you.
It was KLF.
Was it?
ELF was
Oh.
unbelievable. Oh, it was EMF.
Oh,
Yeah,
dang it.
unbelievable.
Oh, it was KLF.
KLF's going to rock you. And
Dude, I love
EMF
that guy's
is
voice.
unbelievable.
Yeah, yeah.
KLF's gonna rock you.
Dude, that dude's voice.
Actually, EMF is electromotive force, and that's how a motor works.
Yeah, it's okay.
But anyway,
So talk to us about this thing. So do you think that the reports are that the military said they heard the they heard it collapse on
happened.
Um,
itself, on Sunday. Do you believe that?
Yeah, very much so. I mean, a submarine's going to implode, but as soon as it implodes, there's going to be an explosion as well. So it implodes really fast because of all the pressure. And so think of it like a diesel engine, right? So, a piston pushes that hot gas up and it compresses it, and that compression builds heat, which then ignites any kind of fuel in the air, which would be air, the oxygen in the air and everything, and then that causes an explosion. So basically, the sub with that much pressure, when it suddenly decided to collapse, it would just be a quick catastrophic collapse. I mean, within milliseconds.
So what do you think?
Collapse.
Do you think there was like a leak and it just kind of built and grew real quick?
crack, a fissure?
Yeah.
Now, if they heard an implosion, my guess is it wasn't a leak, because if we had a leak, then the water would start coming in, and it would eventually equalize. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, right.
So the pressures would equalize.
So
So if they heard an implosion, that meant that it was just a catastrophic failure of the hull of the vessel.
So if our military heard that on Sunday, why did we do all these games? Why did we do all for 3 days, 4 days? I know you can't answer.
Maybe the method of which they heard it was classified.
I mean, then why come out after the fact? It's
And
still
say-
classified.
Yeah. Well, maybe they didn't want to tell exactly how quickly we heard it. Like if it was instantaneous and we knew at that moment, oh yeah, they just exploded. Then because the way the report said, it was like hours later we went back and reviewed or whatever. So I think it was a CYA thing. We didn't want to let our enemies know what our capabilities were. Maybe.
Yeah. Could be. I mean, it's a lot of times. Plus, that stuff all has to get filtered. So even though like somebody might have heard it, then they have to tell it to their person's in charge of them, who then listen to it, and then it just kind of works its way up. So it takes a while to work its way up.
Hey, when you were on the submarine, when you were in the Navy and submarine and all that stuff, did you ever see or hear talk of UFOs that are military? It's ours,
Submersible.
or either one.
No, not really. I mean, I remember back when I was in the Navy, it was back in the late 80s, early 90s, so or mid 80s, mid 90s. So during that decade.
Well, we've had them since '48, so
Maybe not the submersibles.
no.
That's
Please.
new to me, but
All right.
we never heard any reports of it.
So he's like the equivalent of the F-18 pilots who were watching the Tic Tac going, I've never seen anything. Look at that. There's a whole fleet of them and all that kind of stuff. Like they didn't know that it was ours.
I didn't know if you'd seen something though that you couldn't explain or in the water.
No, I mean obviously we really can't see anything. All we can do is hear things, So I mean you hear things all the time, and you're like, well, what's that? It's just a matter of doing analysis and trying to figure out what it is. I mean you're traveling underwater blind, and you're just listening for sounds.
Are we blind? Really? We don't have a way of.
There's no window. You can't see. It's in the dark.
Understand?
There's no windows on. I mean,
Yeah. Okay.
apparently on that little toy submarine they had, there was a window, but on the actual military submarine, there's no windows.
So you're talking sonar, right? It's all sonar stuff.
Correct.
Yeah.
we
so
use
bats
sonar,
use
both
sonar.
active and active.
Bats.
So, I mean, we use.
Hang
I'm
on.
sorry.
Hang on. Bats use sonar, and they get a visual look of what the bug is. So why don't we have that technology? We can't see something by throwing out waves or sonar and it coming back and making an image.
We do have active sonar that we can see things, but we don't use it because as soon as you do a single ping to send a noise signal out to get a reflection back, you've been found. And so, when you're like, up in the Black Sea when you're not supposed to be there and you ping your sonar.
Yeah.
You tell everybody that you're there. Yeah.
You're in their house.
So it's also interesting, too, that, so basically we have maps, underwater maps that we hope are very accurate because, oh, look, there's a mountain that wasn't supposed to be there. We didn't know.
Absolutely. We check it all the time. Most places we go has got plenty of depth, where we're not worried about it. But I know there's places in the Mediterranean where I think we've had a sub 10, 12 years ago that hit a underwater mountain that wasn't charted.
Huh. You ever pass by another country sub and you just quiet and they don't know you're there?
No. I mean, we stuck in behind them and trailed them for a little while.
Yeah, we did. Sure did. We tailed that tail. Yeah.
And then at that point we
Go
get,
ahead. Say it.
At that point, we pick up all the sound, because we're listening to the sound that they're making.
Mm-hmm.
So we can record all the different frequencies they're making and kind of an idea of, when they're turning and what they're doing. And then that information gets disseminated through the fleet.
Yeah, so you catalog with the sound. Here's the frequency. Yeah, this is of this one, that, and that.
When he turns left at this angle.
It sounds like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw Hunt. Is Hunt for Red October pretty legit?
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty accurate for the most part. Hollywood's always got stuff they throw in there that you're kind of like, no.
Yeah, I don't think they would shoot inside of a submarine, a gun.
Alec Baldwin would.
You think so?
Alec Baldwin doesn't care who he shoots.
Nice.
He'll get off.
Gotcha. Well played.
Yeah, I mean,
well played.
The one that I always laugh at's the movie Crimson Tide. Where the captain's got his dog on board and he's like walking around peeing on the missile tubes. It's like that crap wouldn't happen. The first opportunity that dog got loose, it'd be gone, and no one would say where it went.
Oh.
And then you had the guys had the fish tank in berthing. You don't have a fish tank in berthing because exactly what happened would happen. As soon as you do an angle, the fish tank falls over and there's glass and water everywhere.
Right.
Everything had to be able to be securely fastened in its place.
You know what I love seeing? I like seeing submarines when they breach real fast and they pop up it looks like a whale. You know how the whales will come up out of the water and they'll do that little roll and they'll pop back down. I love seeing submarines do that.
Cool. Yeah, I've got a picture on my wall from whenever I was, on board. A helicopter took our picture, so I can point. I was like, hey, I was right back over there.
Did you work with a lot of?
It's called emergency blow. So what we'll do is we'll go down. We'll go down to our test depth.
What'd you say?
And then we do an emergency blow, and then it.
Oh, yeah. There's lots of different blows, I guess.
Up. The what?
No,
Bubba and I, because we've done this so long.
He's being dirty. I'm being the druggie.
Yeah. One's being dirty. One's being, the
narcos
cartel.
Got the emergency blow.
All I gotta say is Bubba's single now, so he can get an emergency blow. You're not.
Okay.
So.
Well, either one, I guess. I don't know.
Anyway,
I don't ask.
I'm not even asking.
I will tell you, it's been really interesting to see all the pictures of people that. I'm match with him.
Man, I am compiling a book, and seriously, I'm going to call it my Stay Married book. And what I'm doing is I screenshot the craziest of the crazies, like whether it's their photo, like some crazy half-naked something or other, or just the things that they say.
Oh boy! Because
there's some crazy things people say on their little dating profiles.
Do you send them to him?
No.
Oh God, you need to. It's the best. Whenever my phone goes off and it's him, I'm like, please be a picture of some chick with elf ears, Please.
Dude, there's all kinds of stuff on there. So what I'm going to do is once I finally find love, I'm going to get a little, I'm going to go ahead and print a book with all these different pages full
Why wait
of,
till you find love? Just
because
go ahead and do it.
I'm still compiling.
Oh, well. Okay.
And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on the coffee table, and it's going to remind me. This is why you don't ever want to not get married or get unmarried again. Because being single is
So you think you would get married again?
Yeah, I think if I meet the right person, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. They have to be look, man.
What?
They have to be awesome.
Okay.
Because this is not where we are currently is not a common law state. So I can stay single and in a relationship for a very long time too.
Okay. So
to get married, it's to convince me that this is the person I plan to grow old with. You know?
What's the point, though? Why don't you just grow old with them?
Well, because some people don't want to do that. Some people are like, look,
well, then what if why don't you go, well, that's not what I want.
For tax purposes, we need to do this.
Tax purpose.
Oh, my God. That's what he's going through. I'm going through. Dude, my transmission went out in the Chevelle. And so,
oh, dude,
I know. Today I'm so excited. I'm going shopping for old, used, what am I saying, junkyards to look for
like pull apart places.
Pull apart places. But you have to be there to do it. You can't call them because they don't.
They're not going to pull it for you.
Well, no, they don't even. Dude, man, you ever called and said, hey, do you have a bumper for such and such? Blah 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 blah. Yeah, man, I don't know. We just got their record keeping is terrible. You would think it would be all every time it came in, they would go through a car and go, oh, it has this. No, they just put it in the yard and come back in.
So there are places I've seen online because I've looked because I needed we had an old Pathfinder that needed a sun visor. And those visors are like $300.
Yeah, man.
So I was looking for wrecked Pathfinders. And so I was looking. So you go online, you look for your model and your color, and you can find them eventually. You're like, oh, okay, cool. This has the Pathfinder sun visors. And, you buy them for much cheaper than what you would if you were new. So I like being able to search for year and make and model. But going through and having to call them, and they're like, well, let me go look. And then they call you back 6 hours later.
Oh, yeah, it's maddening. You're better off just to go there. Because I'm looking at a 700 R4 transmission, and I have all the so Chevy, it's in the Blazer, 1982 to 91 Blazer, the Caprice, the Camaro, the Suburban, and Cadillac. I have all the makes that had that in them. And then going through and just trying to find them and then see if
they have it in the car.
Yeah, but
so that's got a newer transmission in that than original stock.
I have a 350 turbo in mine, and
okay, actually had the Hydra Glider with turbo.
Yeah, so mine's a 3-speed auto, but it used. Bubba, did you know mine used to be a stick?
What?
The original owner, or the owner I bought it from, had it redone into an automatic.
It looks like the automatic was meant to be.
It's
part
of the original. Nope.
Are you going back stick?
No.
Why?
No. Because I want to be able to walk after I get out of the car. That's tiring. I don't want to do that. I like just to put it in the thing and just have one foot go. I'm trying to talk. I'm trying to talk your boy into getting a muscle as well. He's kind of fighting it.
He's been all over the chart lately.
Well, I know. I've gone from sports cars to muscle cars to off-road to right now I'm still on the Overland build. I'm going to find me some donor and make a really cool off-road camping vehicle.
That's pretty cool, man. There's so many great YouTubes on that.
Yeah.
Videos. It's a good project. You and Frank could do that together.
Yeah, or I could buy it done.
I mean, that's what I
people, I could go the Big D route and buy it done.
People ask, I'll be at gas station, you're like, well, so how much did you buy it like this? How much, what all did you do to this to restore it? I'm like, I paid for it. That's what I did.
I put gasoline in it.
I put gasoline in the back. That's the biggest thing people get really freaked out over. I went to the guy, he walks over to me, he goes, I've never seen that. He was like, I don't know, 30 years old.
Is your car, is it behind the license plate?
Yeah, so my license plate is on like a hinge, springs, and it pulls down.
Yeah.
And behind it is the cap. And so I hold that down and pump gas in it, and then pops back in the – it's really cool. It's a great little – it keeps the car clean from having to have an indention where the fuel cap goes.
Yeah, a little
on the
cutaway.
Side. Yeah, cutaway. It makes the car all clean all around. But yeah, we'll get him set up on something.
Well, that's Donovan's job.
I know he's looking for you.
He's my searcher.
I know. Well, he does all that work, and then you go, I don't know.
I don't think I'm ready yet.
No,
I like it.
I have to get a house. That's where I've
I
stepped
need a
out.
house.
I got to get a place to live. No, I'm living in an apartment right now, and let me tell you something.
Apartment's fine.
Apartment is fine until you realize that, you know what, I don't know how long I'm going to be here, that kind of stuff. And you're like, I want to stop living part-time. I feel like where I'm at. I need to find a place to settle and be done, and then buy me a cool donor car for an overland build, and just then
so
have
you
fun.
can go into and live off the grid.
Dude, that's the next thing. That's the next thing.
That should be your house. Should be an off-grid house.
I would, but I like living where I'm living currently is legit 4 blocks from the studio.
Why don't you live off-grid and just like live in the Arizona desert?
I would love to.
And we just do the show via however they do that on the submarines.
With that little phone?
Yeah, with the little phone, we do that thing.
We don't need electricity.
Yeah. It's So I talk into it. It turns in.
Wire.
It's a big long wire too. We can do either way. That'll be a backup.
Use telegraph.
It's basically wires and magnets.
Bubba's chiming in.
And then the AI voice goes. Bubba's AI voice decodes it and speaks. Like we're not going to even have bodies. We're just going to be just floating heads in glass containers.
Good morning. You're waking up with the cloned voice of Bubba from the Big D and Bubba Show.
That's it. Anything else you want to say about the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald?
I mean, sorry to hear that, that's happened.
Sorry.
And,
no, sorry.
I mean, what do you say?
Hey, here's a guy who says he.
That's why you leave things like that to.
Yeah, the military.
The pros.
People who've done the research.
Yeah,
there's been several things you're reading about it. How they didn't put they put different glass in, and they didn't get glass that was rated for that depth because they felt it would hold the pressure and things like that.
So what's a Cameron guy from the movie?
James Cameron.
James Cameron, yeah, I didn't realize he's done so much underwater submersible stuff. I think it's redundant, but he was saying that the safety record for these is gold standard. Like there aren't many accidents
for the ones he does. Or
no, around
like
the world. Like because it's not just. So you have guys who go down in these submersibles to go look at coral reefs, other dive or wreckage sites or whatever. And it's all over the world. And he goes, they never have problems.
Well, I also don't think they're going 12,000 feet below the surface.
Right.
Well, true. Yeah, good point.
I mean, dude, if you sat and did the math on the amount of pressure that's at that depth, right? So every 33 feet of water is 15 pounds. So for every 33 feet of water, you have 15 pounds per square inch.
Pushing in.
And
all you need is one weak spot to cause the whole thing to fail.
So what was? Do you know the math on your top of your head? Do you know what the pressures were on that submarine when it was down that low?
So I mean, we'll round it to 30 feet instead of 33. So 12,000 feet divided by 30 is what? 400?
That's what I came up with too.
I know. You keep saying things like it's a question to us. I don't know why you're asking the question. So that's what 44, right? Yeah.
So 400 times 15 pounds. So 4 times 15 is 60. So 1,600 pounds. No, it's more than that.
16 billion pounds?
16,000 pounds per square inch.
Yeah. What did you do for the Navy?
I operate a nuclear reactor.
Okay, well,
He didn't do math.
I hope it had a calculator.
Man, my watch will do the tip for me, and that's like the best thing ever.
Yeah,
when you go to, like, I don't know why the iPhone in the calculator doesn't have a tip button, but the calculator on the Apple Watch, you hit the little thing and it's got a tip calculator, and you just turn the dial and tell it how much of a tip you want to give.
Oh, ooh, that feels good.
Yeah, it's
I
great.
like that dial. Ooh, just you saying that give me like,
Yeah.
Oh.
Just listen. Oh, you can't hear it. I feel
are
it.
you
though.
turning
It's got
your
tactile
dial?
feel. Yes.
Are you turning?
Yes. I'm
This
caressing
is
my
what
dial.
this is what I feel like Bubba does at night when I'm not around him. Yeah. So are you turning your dial right now?
Yes, I am.
Mhm, yeah.
Computer love. Hey, baby.
Yeah. Here we go.
Anyway. All right, Donovan. Love you. We'll leave you with this real quick. So you.
Yeah. Have you
so
heard
you're part
this?
of
The longer you let it hang, the more of the wild taste you get out of it.
Yeah. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
Oh, Donovan. Donovan has eaten squirrel too. Tell this guy squirrel is delicious.
Yeah, as long as you don't cook it over an open flame like we did out in the middle of the woods.
Yeah. It didn't taste delicious.
It was delicious.
I like that leading the witness question, by the way. Jeez.
6,000 pounds, by the way.
6,000 pounds is the pressure that was on that.
per square inch.
Square inch. Yeah,
So every inch, it was 6,000 pounds.
correct.
So why? Okay. So how many inches is that?
It's all of it. It's just he's talking about the pressure at that depth was 6,000 pounds. So if one piece of that sub couldn't handle that and was weaker than the other, it would start to give. And once that gave, then it sucked it up. And then, so you're saying earlier, and I just want to clarify, this thing, when it imploded, it sucked into itself, right? So it was like in a movie.
It crushes into itself. Yeah, it crushes in and it happens so fast that, I mean, the good thing is that if that's what actually happened, I mean, they were dead in less than a second. They didn't even know it happened. It just, boom.
Yeah, like turn on a light switch.
Correct. I mean, because the pressure pushes all that air gets compressed super quick, which means it gets really, really hot. So, I mean, they basically incinerate. So there's really nothing to find.
Oh, wow.
So then how small would that submarine have been? That's what I was going to ask. Like, did it go to like a tin can size?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I mean, it could have, but I don't know what materials it was made out of. But I
Well,
mean,
they
I'm sure
said
they found some debris.
Yeah, they did find pieces of it, like parts that like had the name on it, like the side. They knew that was it. So it could
Probably
have been
stuff that just broke off, like little guides and things.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, but the actual little, propane
capsule
tank part of it, whatever you want to call that.
Yeah, I'd like to know what happened to that. Can you run your numbers again?
So that you're saying that blows up though, so it goes down to like the size of a can, and then it explodes.
It gets really hot and ignites, and then it explodes.
Oh, that's so terrifying.
But and again, it's not. I mean, it happens instantly. You never know any of it happened.
I know it's still terrifying though.
Yeah, it's. Boom.
Oh wow! And what is it that you said? Your final comment about all this was? It's sad.
Yeah, I'm sad. It's saddened. I mean, you never want to see mariners go down. I mean, it's
right. Yeah, I'm joking.
Regardless of regardless of who they are, whether they're millionaires going down to see the Titanic or a foreign country submarine. Submarine guys don't want to.
Yeah, there was like that Greek ship that went down and lost like 300 people. Almost the same day, and nobody was talking about it. Plus, we interdict all these narco subs where they're coming in with tons of cocaine and heroin and all that, and those go down and sink all the time. Nobody ever says a word.
Yeah,
I mean, granted, they're in the drug trade,
cartel.
Yeah, but
Good riddance. Yeah. All right. Well, just in case you forgot what the guy said,
the longer you let it hang, the more of the wild taste you get out of it.
There you go. So that's on Bubba's Bumble. That's what it says.
All right.
All right, dude. Love you, man. And thank you again for my birthday gift. You're awesome.
See you, Donovan.
You're welcome, man.
All right, bye-bye. We have Christopher Everett is in our comments, and he said, hey, Big D, I have a spare turbo 350 transmission.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. So
For real?
Yeah, for real. Christopher, why don't you reach out to Big D on his socials, whether it's Instagram or Twitter or whatever.
Yes.
It's just Big D Radio, right? He has to look.
Dude, I don't know.
Is
it? Big D Radio. Big D Radio.
D
Is
Radio.
that mine on Instagram
all one
too?
word. Yeah, it's all one word. Big D Radio.
Well, there's a real joy in not knowing that, honestly.
It's nice.
Okay.
Justin Sotheby. I'm going to say hi to Joey, Teresa, Melody.
What's up, Justin?
Corey, Christopher, obviously. Marianne got me the awesome whatchamacallit, the cheesecake.
Yeah,
we were
man.
enjoying that here in the studio.
I think
Thank
she's
you,
sending
Marianne.
other gifts too. She's trying to get here before you leave.
So amazing. Thank you, Marianne. You're the best. Junior's cheesecake. All right, so are we about done?
Y'all have a wonderful,
Yeah, I'm going to hang out with my mom and dad and sister, and I'm going to have some pizzas, and we're doing mom's, cake that she made custom. Oh, dang it. I forgot to tell Donovan that I get to eat mom food this weekend. We send pictures back and forth. Anytime one of us gets to hang out with mom and dad, we send pictures of our food to the other one just to rub it in their face because it's the best.
I love that.
So anyway, thank you.
You should get a cookie cake made and have it written on, and have it say the longer you let it hang, the more the taste gets better.
The longer you let it hang,
yeah.
the more of the wild taste you get out of it.
Yeah, that's why you just put that, and you just send it to whoever you want.
Okay.
Yeah.
But again, big shout out to Josh as well. Josh says, why not switch to the Turbo 400D?
Well, the issue is, okay.
Y'all reach out to him.
Yeah,
Big D
hit me.
Radio.
Yeah, there's reasons.
And y'all talk.
Yeah,
and don't forget.
The longer you let it hang, the more of the wild taste you get out of it.
Goodbye.
This was the podcast, but now it's over. But that's okay, because you can listen to the regular show on the radio every day. It was the podcast.
Sorry.